ready? Hey, can you hear me?
I'm sure it's probably my connection.
Can you hear me clearly?
Yeah.
Okay. How's everybody doing? We're going to start in a couple of minutes. This is Paul. We need to test your mics, and on the bottom left, we sent you a message to see, just to check to see if we can get contact with you. So we heard you talking a little while ago, but we need you to just click on your mic at the left, one at a time. Like Jackie, if you click on your mic and say hello, we know your mic is working. So go to the left-hand side next to your name and see the little mic, and you need to, at the bottom left part of the screen where it says, where you see the little microphone, you need to click that on.
Why can't I hear him?
Okay, I just heard somebody talk. One person at a time. Jackie, everybody, if you could go to the bottom left of your panel and make sure your mic is not lit up. And then Jackie, if you could highlight your mic, turn it on, and say hello. We know you can hear. We're not getting any feedback. We need you to type in the chat box on the bottom left there whether you have a mic or not. Some of you might not have a mic.
Thank you. Wait 1 second. I have no idea.
Hi, good afternoon, everyone. This is Paul. Welcome to the workshop. Let me thank you for taking the time to join us today. We seem to be having a little trouble with communication. The PowerPoint that's been playing just gives you some orientation to how to communicate with us. So we just need to make sure that we don't have any feedback. You're going to get feedback with each other in the room, and you're going to get feedback from us if your mic is on. Leave it off until we call on you, and then you can turn your mic on. So just let's practice a couple of times with turning your mic on. To turn your mic on, at the bottom left-hand corner of the panel at the left of your screen, you see a picture of a microphone. If you click on that, that turns on your mic and everyone can hear you. Only one person at a time should turn on their mic, though. Again, because we get
I'm also
feedback.
going to need that website
Okay.
to even
So
get
if
on.
you turn off your mic, please. Okay, there we go. Okay, Maureen has her mic. There we go. Everybody has their mic off. Okay. We're going to ask Jackie to turn on her mic and say hello. Right. Let's try something else before we go to the mics. Okay. On the bottom part of your panel, you see everybody's name. You see your name and the other people who are in the webinar with you. Right below that, on the left-hand side, you see a little hand. That's the way that you can communicate with me that your hand is raised. If you click that, your hand will be raised. So if you would please, everybody click that right below your names. There we go. Kristen has clicked it. Maureen, Jackie, Fran, good. Keep going. You're doing a great job. We have Gina needs to click. Karen needs to click. All right. Let's see. We need Gina to click. The hand right below the participant box.
I can't hear anything. Karen does.
All right. Karen, please turn off your mic.
I get it, but I can't hear it.
Karen, please turn off your mic on the bottom left.
Did you find your name? Turn off your mic.
Click your mic. There we go. And now we need Gina and Karen to raise their hands by clicking the hand icon right below where it lists all those names. There we go. Excellent job. We have everybody with their hand raised. So you can see next to your name a number. That means the order in which you have raised your hand. So Kristen was first, Maureen was second, Jackie was third, and so forth. Now what I'd like you to do is to put your hand down by clicking the hand again. Just click the hand and the number next to your name will go off. Alright, Gina, we need you to click that hand icon right below. There we go. Everybody's hand is down. Okay, that's one way to communicate with me. Another way is to show emotion. You see a little smiley face next to the hand. You see a blue face that means you don't understand. And then there's a hand that has little red marks coming out of it. That's an applause hand. That you don't have to turn on or off. You just click that. So let's give everybody a round of applause for coming to the workshop during the summer. All right, this is great. So Gina has her hands clapping. Let's see who else. There we go. All right, how about Kathleen? Give me a round of applause there. Maureen did. Okay, I think we have people who are, again, that turns off automatically. So we're in great shape. So now you know you can communicate with me with the hand. And you can applaud people when they do some work on the screen in a little bit. Okay, one more thing. We need to get this microphones straightened out. When you want to speak, when I call on you and you want to speak to me or you have a question, you want to talk to me, you need to click the bottom left-hand icon that shows a mic in it. When you do that, your microphone icon next to your name, where all the names appear, will be yellow. If you notice right now, my name is in yellow because I have my mic on. If I You just saw that go off. So, what I'd like you to do is, again, Jackie, what I'd like you to do is put your hand up, so I know you hear me. All right. Now I'd like you to click your microphone at the bottom and say hello.
Hello.
All right, turn it off.
What are you doing?
Excellent job. Put your hand down. Thank you. Put your hand down. There we go. All right, Karen. What I'd like you to do is put your hand up.
Karen, tell him
All right, Karen. Now turn your mic on and say hello.
Hello.
All right, we hear you. All right, put your hand down. Okay, Fran has her mic on already. Say hello, Fran.
Hello, how are you?
Hey, every day's a good day.
That's
Turn
right.
your mic off, please. There we go. And we'll try one more person. Kristen, put your hand up, please. All right, Kristen, and put your mic on and say hello. Real loud. Well, we didn't hear you say hello, though.
Here we go.
All right, turn your mic off. How you doing today? All right, you can put your hand down by pressing the hand button. There you go. Okay, I think we're into communication. This is great. We're all learning here, so don't worry about it. We just have to get oriented to the software. We have one more way you can communicate with me and with each other, and that's through the chat box at the bottom. You'll notice that we've sent you some messages already. Steve works with us, and you see his name there as a moderator as well. He helps me out here in case we get into technical difficulties, but right now we're doing just great. What I'd like you to do is, you'll notice the status bar there where you can type something in. I'm going to ask you in a minute to type your name. I'm going to type my name and my grade level, which is K-12, but you're going to put your grade level down. We all know you're basically from the same school, so. Okay, so what I'd like you to do is just press send. So when you send something, everybody can see it. So if you would, just type in your name and your grade and then send it so I can see that you are. There we go. Kathleen, 3rd grade. Jackie is 5th grade. 2 people have sent things already. This is great. We need Gina and Fran and Karen. Karen, all right, and Gina have sent theirs in. All right, Rhiannon has sent hers in. Maureen has sent hers in. Let's see, who haven't we heard from yet? I think we have heard from Kathleen. I think we did Kathleen already submitted. This is great. I think we have basically everybody. Okay. Matt, by the way, is it worked for us also. Okay. So we have somebody with a hand up. Gina, do you have a question? Turn your mic on and you can ask it. I see that your hand is raised.
Okay, can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Karen is still working on her computer.
Okay. Okay, so we'll give Karen a minute while we just go over some other basics. Okay. All right. So she just needs to get her mic on. Yeah. All right, Gina, you need to just shut off your mic. There you go. And put your hand down. All right. Maureen, we can hear you. Do you have a question?
Yes, I'm sitting next to Terry Catulli. She's not able to get in. She never received the email that gave her a login number.
Okay, then her name wasn't on the list that we received. Steve can send you the login and she can go, she can sign in. Steve, can you do that?
Almost got all the other emails. We had her email.
She received the other emails that said that we were registered, but she didn't get the one that we all got yesterday.
Okay, Steve, can we invite her as a, okay, we're gonna get you an invitation.
Okay.
Okay, anybody else having a problem?
Okay, we got it.
Well, how do I get
Okay,
it?
All right,
good.
thank you.
Turn your mic off, please. Okay, Maureen, you can put your hand down, and Gina, you can put your hand down. Okay, Gina, you have a question. Go ahead and ask it. Turn your mic on and ask. All right, Gina doesn't have a question. Okay, I think this is great. You know, as I said, we're all learning, and we won't have to go through this every Thursday because we'll get so good at it. We'll have all our communications down. Okay, I think we have everybody on at this point. Terry is, I guess, not on yet. And we see that, I guess Karen's still having a little trouble, is that right?
Yeah.
Okay, what we're going to do, however, is I just have to go through some orientation, additional kinds of orientation things and get us going with the workshop. Maureen, do you have a question?
Yes, we don't know what the website is for Terry to type in for her to get to the, so that she can log in. We're using Smart
Okay,
Lessons.
Steve, can you answer this?
We're using smartlessons.com, but that's not taking her to the site.
No.
Smart math.
Steve, why don't you answer that?
Smart math
There we go. You see what Steve has
Okay,
written
got
there?
it. Thank you.
Okay. Shut up your mic, please. There you go. Okay, I think we have just about everybody on. Alright. Alright. You can answer that question, Steve. Okay, I think we're about ready to get started. Is Terry signed on yet? Let me see here. There we go. Okay. Alright, there we go. Alright, Kathleen, you have a question. Turn your mic on.
I'm just letting you know Terry's still trying to get on, and so is Karen Doherty.
Okay. Okay, no problem. Okay. What seems to be the problem with Karen? Do we getting on? Do we know? Is it just her computer?
Karen, is it just the computer? The computer tech's working on it.
Okay. Right now, she can look on with somebody. There we go. Karen, you have your hand raised. Do you have a question? Can you turn your mic on? Okay, Karen, can you turn your mic on?
Yeah, I'm sitting next to...
There we go.
No, Kristen Scasel has been booted off the system.
Kristen has been booted off the system. Steve will look into that. Okay.
Yeah.
But Karen, you seem to be okay now, right?
No, it's on. Can you hear it? Hello?
Okay. Yep. I can hear you. Now turn your mic off and put your hand down. I believe Kristen needs to sign on one more time. All right, Kathleen, do you have a question? Ready? Put your mic on. Kathleen?
Yeah, there's actually two Karens. There's a Karen McCoy and a Karen Doherty. And Karen Doherty is the one who's not on yet.
Okay. All right, and she has the information to sign on?
She's just about ready.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Yeah.
She got it. Now I
She's
understand.
getting ready.
Okay. All right. Didn't understand there's two Karens. All right.
How about you, Terry?
All right.
And Terry's almost on.
Terry on yet?
Yeah.
Okay.
Terry, you're not on yet, right? Terry's working on it.
Okay.
Almost. Downloading.
Good. There we go. Alright. Okay, what I'm going to do is, Kristen is back on, I can see that. Okay. And we have, I think, one more to sign on. So I think what we're going to do is get started, and people who are signing on with the tech person can also look on with another computer right now until they're on, so we can get going. Okay, well, welcome all one more time. And again, we're not going to be able, we won't have to go through all this orientation each time, but the first time, obviously, we all have to get used to being in a webinar and communicating through the Illuminate software that we use to deliver these things. So, what I'd like you to do is just raise your hand. And Teresa is with us. Terry has joined us. This is great. Okay. Just click your hand button if this is the first time that you've participated in a webinar. All right, let's see. Okay, we have, all right. Hey, this is great. So 7 of you, 8 of you, this is the first time you've participated, 9 of you, almost all of you. All right, this is good. That's why we needed that orientation, and we've had things under control. So put your hand down now, please. All right, we promised that it was going to be interactive, so it's going to be. All right, Karen, you can put your hand down, Karen McCoy, and Maureen, you can put your hand down by pressing the hand button. Maureen, we need you to put your hand down.
She's trying. She got kicked out.
Okay, you have a question, Maureen? Okay, go ahead.
She got kicked out, she said.
No, Maureen's still on. All right, Karen's on now. Karen, do you have a question? Karen McCoy? All right, Maureen, do you have a question? If you don't, please put your hand down by pressing the hand button. There we go. Okay. So, we're all set. And we know how to communicate by raising our hand. We know how to communicate by turning the mic on and off. And we know how to communicate by chat. Okay. So what we're going to do now is get started with our program, and I'm going to go over the objectives for today. And basically, you see a little black box in your corner. It's going to go off in a second. Don't get too worried about it. And right now, I am sharing with you. There's a little black box in the corner. That's okay. I'm sharing with you a smart file that I made up, just so we can go over some of the activities that we're going to be doing today. So, basically, what you want to think about is how we can use base 10 blocks to get kids to understand a little bit more. I won't go through explanations of why manipulatives each time because they're always the same. But today we're going to do a primary activity of what you can do with base 10 blocks with your 100-day project that you probably do in grades 1, 2, and kindergarten. We're going to be playing a game, which is Win a Flat, which is helping kids master regrouping. We're going to model multi-digit numbers, and if we have time, go to extensions to 10,000 squares. So we're going to model numbers with base 10 blocks. We are going to do double-digit addition with base 10 blocks and the 100 chart. If you're already using our program, you know how a lot of these things work, and I know you're using it in grades 3, 4, and 5. We're going to do multi-digit addition with base 10 blocks, making exchanges and so forth. And then we're going to make connections to the actual algorithms and why it's important to connect the algorithm to the base 10. We're going to use trade-up method, the trade-first method for subtraction. We're going to look at multiplication. We're going to look at how to develop multiplication with base 10 blocks with basic arrays. And then what we're going to do is we are going to take a look at single-digit times double-digit number with base 10 blocks. We're going to look at double-digit times double-digit with base 10 blocks. We're going to look at division, and then we're going to have some closure to the whole thing. So, you can see that we're going to take a look at base 10 blocks to build models of numbers, basically, and to complete all 4 basic arithmetic operations. As you know, I use base 10 blocks in communicator math, a lot of you are using them with the kids already, but this should just give you a little bit of a refresher. So, why manipulatives to begin with? By the way I'm doing this, you guys have smart boards, I assume. So the thing is that I'm using the smart the notebook software, and it's really being sent to your computer. So you're really seeing what's on my computer screen right now, and I'm operating it. Later on, you'll have a chance to move things around yourself. But anyway, why manipulatives? Well, basically, it's an opportunity to create understanding of the operation. Research shows that kids should be doing manipulatives first and experimenting with the operation, and then after they understand it, then they should create the algorithm. The algorithm should not be a procedure that is memorized, but rather an algorithm should be a recall of a reality and a record-keeping system of the manipulative, of what they understand, what they've done with the manipulative. Very important concept. If you do that in that order, manipulatives with exploration, followed by development of the algorithm, you'll get long-term retention, clearer understanding of the concepts, and more importantly, or most importantly probably, that once they understand it, they can apply those concepts in new situations. So, implementation suggestions we'll be giving you on how to use the basic 10 blocks in your class. Basically, just basic kinds of stuff that I'm sure our coaches first went through with you when you first did the program. If you're going to use base 10 blocks, you want the kids actively engaged. You just don't want to show it on the smartboard or on the overhead. You want kids to do it with you. So you really need to make sure they have some base 10 materials packaged. It's best to put each pair of students or each student, it's best to have a plastic bag or a Ziploc bag that is 2 100 squares. It has 22 10 rods and 22 unit squares in a plastic bag container. That makes distribution easy and collection fairly easy, and it only takes a minute or two if you already have the bags made up. As I said, distribute them when you need them, not beforehand. Teach students how to put them in the plastic bags or containers, and show how to close the bag or container. Make sure in your lesson you allow time for cleanup. But you guys already know all that stuff. Let me just take one more poll. If you have a smart board in your room or an interactive whiteboard, just raise your hand, please. There we go. All right. Okay. There we go. And wow, everybody seems to have one. Fran, do you have a smart board in your class?
I'm getting one put in
Poor Fran.
4th grade over the summertime.
Excellent.
So I will have one.
Excellent. So you won't feel left out. That's great. Okay, you turn your mic off, friend. Put your hands down, please. As we go through today, I will share with you different techniques that I'm using to create the screens that I have created. So basically, what I'd like to do is now just talk about some activities that you can do with primary grade level kinds of things. So I'm going to pull up another file. By the way, we will be sending you all of these notebook files after the webinar is finished. You'll probably get them Monday or Tuesday, and you feel free to use them, feel free to modify them, but basically all the work that we put into it is just the beginning for you to make modifications to meet your class's need. Primary teachers, kindergarten teachers, 1st grade, and sometimes 2nd grade teachers love to do 100-day celebrations. And it really starts with the first day of school. And what we usually do is we get the kids on the rug and we talk to kids about this being the first day of school, the 2nd day of school, the 3rd day of school, and so forth. And we do some other kinds of activities with language, art skills, and all those other things. But we're going to talk basically today about math. Every day you can either use counters, popsicle sticks, connecting cues, base 10 blocks, and we model each day. So on the first day, I just put down a base 10 block, but it's good to have a popsicle stick or straws or something. And then the second day, you say, well, yesterday we had 1 because it was the first day of school. Now we're going to add 1, and then you count 1, 2. And the third day, obviously, you add one more and you count 1, 2, 3. I'm sure you guys do a much better job than I do. But we get to day 10. Obviously, here we have 10 base 10 blocks, or you can have 10 popsicle sticks, or whatever. But this is the key, of course, is you want to group those together. If you're using popsicle sticks, you want to put that in a rubber band or string or something, so you package those together as one group of 10, and you talk about that group of 10. So on day 11, you talk about our group of 10 and 1. You take apart the popsicle sticks that you group together and you count them out up to 10 and then number 11. And then you group them again to make that 10, 1 10, and 1 11. Then you go to day 12. This is the last time I'll do this. Just get the idea. On day 12, you have your one set of 10, and then you add 1, so you have 10 and then 2 1s. And then you unwrap that 10, you count up, and then you count to 11, 12. So basically, you guys have been doing, I'm sure, 100-day celebrations and this kind of thing for a long time. That is nothing new. But one thing we want to make sure we do before we add or subtract with base 10 blocks is that in primary grade levels, they have an idea of what one-to-one correspondence is. So you have tons of counters in your class. I put little teddy bears on here. By the way, where I got those teddy bears from is I went online. I put in pictures of teddy bears, and I got a whole bunch of teddy bears that I then copied. The way you can do that is on the bottom of the screen here, you see a little camera. And that camera came on the screen. You can't see it. That's cool. But but basically, it is the capture tool, and you can use the capture tool to capture images from the internet, but you can't see that on your screen. It's a little black box at this point. And anyway, that's how I got the teddy bear on there. When you do one-to-one correspondence, you want to make sure that you count, you put numbers next to each one. The whole idea of one-to-one correspondence is each one of the objects takes on a number in sequence. So I just sort of showed you that. But again, you guys in kindergarten and first grade already know all that. And the other one, before kids can add, they have to have the idea of the conservation of a number. So again, I got these images from the internet. I put in a picture of a car, and then I used the capture feature of Smart, and I brought them down. Now you can see, if you look at these two things, that you would ask kids to vote on which one has the most cars. And if the kid says that B, if kids don't really understand what we call the conservation of a number, that 3 is 3 is 3, no matter what the size is, it really is very difficult to get them to add or subtract. So if your kids are telling you that B has more cars than A, you need to do more work with one-to-one correspondence, and you need to do more work with just the idea of a number. But anyway, you need to check those two things before they do addition or subtraction. But one thing I want to share with you is the idea that numbers and counting can be done in many different ways. You all skip count. You know, we skip count by 5s, we skip count by 2s, 3s, 10s, you know, whatever. And the whole idea is we're trying to develop the idea of base 10 so we can get into base 10 blocks. And in our book, I know this is in our communicator math program, we use the Good Connections book. And we also, I can't show you the pages from the Good Connection book because it's copyrighted material, so I sort of made something up. But the gist of the story is that a king has so many commissioners he can't keep track of them, and they start counting them, and his royal advisors get all confused, and they decide to get all the royal commissioners together, and the princess decides to count them. Now, some of the royal advisors show the king that they can count by counting in groups of 2, some count in groups of 5, and the princess counts in groups of 10. So let's say I'm the first royal advisor. What I can do is I can just count in sets of 2. So if I just write on top of here, I can take this and I can just write put a line through 2 at a time. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, and I go 12, 14, 16, I don't go all the way through, but I can go all the way up to 47, counting by twos. Another royal advisor says, no, 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 I'm going to count by 5. So he counts 5, and then he counts 10, and then he counts 20, and then he counts 15, and then 20, and then 25, and so forth. So he counts up to 45, and then adds 2 more. So now, what happens is, I think I'm going the wrong direction here. I pushed the wrong button. There we go. So I'm going to now get rid of these. And now the princess comes along, and of course the princess counts by 10. So she says there's 10 in the first row, 10 in the second row, 10 in the third row, 10 in the fourth row. So I have 40, 10, 20, 30, 40, and then 41, 42, 43, 44, 45, 46, 47. It's a great book to read to the kids. Our Good Connections book just makes suggestions on how to use those kinds of things in your class. I had to do this modeling in your class, but you just saw me, so you don't need the book. All right. So anyway, what happens after that is you can then give kids, if they have access to SMART, or you can have them come up and do SMART, or you can make a copy of this page and then put it inside the communicator. We'll show you some other things in the communicator in a little bit. But the whole idea is you want kids to circle these in sets of 10. So they can count in sets of 10 and then count the number 10s and then name the number. This is a great first and second grade activity. We are going to get the base 10 blocks in a minute. But I have this written out for you. This right here is a page recording that you see at the bottom. I'm going to play it. And you'll see I've recorded the answer. So you could do this for the kids, or you could have a kid act this out. Kids have acted this out on the communicator already. Everybody's involved. But you can see that I have 3 sets of 10, and of course I have 2 1s. So the kid we would write down 3 10s and 2 1s, and of course our number is 32. So let's go on to our next slide. I have the answer there as well. This time I use stars, and I'm counting by 10s again. So again, you can make a copy of this. And again, this time I did it a little bit differently. I showed the one-to-one correspondence by putting the numbers in and counting to 10. And once I get to 10, I'm going to circle it so the kids get the idea of grouping by 10. Very important pre-activity before we get to base 10 blocks. So anyway, the kid counts up to 10, puts a circle around it. What's cool about this is you could stop the, I just pressed the the parallel line thing there. I stopped my presentation. I can ask kids questions anytime I want, and then start it again. So anyway, we have answers for you right there, and it's going to start counting again, another set of 10. And basically, we know, of course, that it's important for kids to first graders and kindergarten kids to be able to count and group in sets of 2. So you're doing this in 2 ways. You're doing it through calendar math activity or calendar activities. And you also can do this through communicators or on the smartboard or whatever. You want to really do it with smartboard and communicators so the kids are actively engaged. So this time we have 24, I think, is the answer to this question. So I'm going to take a little inventory here. What I'd like to know from you is raise your hand. This time I wrote it out. Let's get it done first. 2 10s and 5 1s. Like I said, 24. It is 5, I think. There we go. 25. Okay. So just raise your hand if you would like me to go through how I created that page in using Smart Notebook software. If not, we'll just skip it. Just raise your hand if you are interested in having me just give you the detail on how I created that. Okay, you guys are all experts. This is great. Okay, so let's go on. And this time, this is just a matching thing. I would tell kids to just move the dogs over so you get that one-to-one correspondence. And on this one, I just used a 100 square. This is cool. I'll show you where this is. I don't know whether you guys have had a chance to use this. On the 100 square, this is a smart flash file, and you can count by fives. Obviously, all I'm doing is just clicking on those numbers, and I can reset it. And what's cool about that is you can do the split screen, and we can show the idea that you want to count those dinosaurs. So what you can do is if you count by fives, the kid can put a line through 5 of these, and then you can press 5 over here. And then you can count another 5, and then the kid can, and then you can press 10. Now you can do this on a communicator with the base 10 chart, and obviously we could do 15 and so forth. Or, of course, we can count this by tens. If we just go across, we can take a different color, and we could count by by tens, and then you would just activate the 10 each time. One other activity you can do is you can go back to the full screen, and I'm going to just show you another activity. Again, all these files are yours to use. If you click each one of these numbers, and this is for a kid to know whether they know how to sequence, 13, 14. Over here we see a 21 and a 24. Now just for the fun of it, our next two numbers are 31 and 34. I'm going to ask, well, I don't know, let's say I ask Karen 2. Karen 2, we have the name of Karen 2. I am going to give you, Karen 2, permission to press the 31 and the 34. So just hang on a minute. I'm going to give you control of the board. Go up to 31 and press 31. Excellent job. Go over to 34. You're doing such a great job. Do 41, 42, and 43. Okay, and 44 to me as well. Okay. Now we're going to ask Kathleen. I'm going to give you permission to take control of the board, and I would like you to do 65 and 66. Now kids could be doing this on their communicator and making this as well. Okay, we're going to ask Fran. We're going to ask you to do the next group, 17, 18, 19, and 20. Okay, go ahead. Okay, and we're going to ask Gina to do the next group. Okay, I'm going to give you permission to go ahead. You're going to do 27 and 30. Click it again, just once. There you go. Go over to 30. And we'll have you do 37 and 40. Okay, and we're going to have Maureen do 47, 48, 49, and 50. Excellent job. And then we'll have, let's see, I haven't called on yet. Alright, Jackie gave you a round of applause. That's excellent. Okay, you guys are into it. Alright, Karen without the 2. Alright, I want you to finish it up. 71, 82, I'm going to give you permission to do this. Go ahead. Up. Erase that one. There you go. 93. There you go. Okay, and I think you all should give yourselves a round of applause. Hit the applause button. All right. Kathleen, the rest of you guys, Maureen, you need all of you. There we go. And it'll go off automatically. Excellent job. Okay. Again, we can reset that by just pressing reset. All your hard work is gone. But again, feel free to use that. And again, if you make a copy of our communicator template, that is the 100 square, you could just copy those numbers and give them to the kids to do, and they could do it right on the communicator. and then you can have it done on the smartboard as well. One last lesson in this primary stuff. Show 5 watermelons. You can just have the kids, draw 5 watermelons. So we can go into a little bit of smart stuff here. If you left click on the object, the watermelon, you see clone, copy, cut, and so forth. I'm sure you guys know how to clone. You just press clone and a new one comes on. If you left click again, right click again, excuse me, and press clone, you get a next one. So I'm going to ask somebody to clone the watermelon we have just to get a little practice here. Kristen, I'm going to give you permission to right click and clone the watermelon that is there. So we're going to just give you shared control. Go ahead. All right, there you go. And clone it. And now move it over if you would, please. Excellent. Keep moving. Can you bring it down? There you go. Excellent job. All right. And we'll have somebody else clone it now. Jackie is applauding you. Jackie, since you're applauding everybody, why don't you give it a try? We want you to clone that one. And let's see. We need to give you permission. All right. And go ahead. Clone that watermelon. There we go. And move it over if you would. All right. Excellent job. Everybody get there. You see Karen's applauding. You guys are a great team, let me tell you. Okay. Steve's applauding you. This is great. Okay. And we need one more to be done. So we'll ask. Maureen, you have a question? Maureen, put your hand down if you don't have a question. You have a question?
Yes, I do.
Maureen.
Okay, what is the difference between cloning it and copying it?
Great question. Let me model that. Okay, you can put your hand down and your mic off. What you have done is when you clone it, you get an immediate copy right on the board of the watermelon or whatever other subject you're doing. So now I have too many, so I'm going to delete that. Now, when you copy it, you still right-click. But when I copy, I just press copy. It didn't appear on the screen. And it won't appear on the screen until I right-click and then paste it. Then it will appear. Now, you might say, well, why in the world would you have copy and why do you have clone? Clone is very handy when you want to put something on the same page. It's very handy. But if you really want to move to a new page and you want to copy something from the previous page, one way to do it is to copy it, and then when I go to a new page, I can then paste it on a new page. But a clone will not work. You can clone it if you know how to use page sorter and that kind of thing, but I won't get into that. But does that answer your question about the difference between clone and copy?
Yes, it does. Thank you very much.
Take care of that. Well, that's what we're here for. I hope you can come up with a question that stumps me. All right. So let's go back, and obviously we have too many watermelons at this point. So I'm going to move this down, and again, if you notice where my cursor is, if I put my cursor over here, it's moving around, and I put my cursor to the left or to the right of my 3 that I want to get rid of, I can left click, and a box goes around them. Notice how I made a box highlight all 3 of those. That means I can move all 3 at once, or I could clone all 3 at once, or now I have 6 of them. Notice how I went to the left side of this, a little bit bigger than the quantity I wanted to do, and just dragged my mouse with my left click down. They all are highlighted. Those are the ones I'm working with now. I let go of my mouse now, so I'm not clicking anything. I go to one of the download pull-down menus, and I go to delete, and it will delete all of those at once. So again, there's ways you can group and so forth to do things. So anyway, we haven't got to base 10 like that, but we have done a great deal of work with basics. So we are ready to move on now. And What we're going to do now is just take a look at some basics with adding some numbers together. Now we're getting into tens and ones. So I am going to change things around on you for a minute here. And basically, just give me a minute to, oh, there we go, okay. And your screen's going to have a black box on it for a minute, but that's okay. And we're going to, okay. So in a minute, we're going to bring up a PowerPoint for you to look at. So just give me a minute to get the PowerPoint on there. And you should see all different kinds of things. You still see a big black box on your screen, but that's okay. And we're going to bring up a PowerPoint that will help us do some 100 chart activities. Again, the PowerPoints will be sent to you as well. Okay, so now you're into, you've done this counting stuff with kids in first and second grade, in kindergarten and first grade, and at the end of first grade, you really want to start using base 10 blocks to take the place of popsicle sticks. So you want them to show 3 tens and 2 ones using as few base 10 blocks as possible. So kids would act that out on a workspace. They would have their base 10 blocks, and they would show 32 the way I just did with 3 tens and 2 ones. To that 32, you want to add 2 tens. So you want to see if they can just add 2 tens. And if I do that, you want to ask kids what the answer is, and the answer, of course, is 52. Some people would be very bothered by the fact that I have the tens not all in the same place, but the whole idea is a 10 is a 10 is a 10. If it makes you more comfortable to have all the tens on the left, do that. Okay, so we have 52. Alright, add 1 10 and 3 ones to the 52. So the kid would put down a 10 bar, and the kid would put down a 1. And then they would tell you the answer, and 3 ones, sorry about that. And then they would give you the answer of 65. So again, you're directing this, and you can count them up, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, and then count the units to be 65. Okay, now I want to add 14. So I'm going to add 14. Most kids are going to add a 10 and 4 ones, and then they can count the tens. And then we get 7 tens. Just makes it very vivid for the kid who is a visual learner. But again, I can't stress enough, they're acting this out with you. Okay, remove 2 tens. So now we're going to remove 2 tens from our model. And we get 59. So now we're sort of subtracting. And now I want to remove 2 tens and 5 ones. So I'm going to put down 2 tens out and 5 ones. And I know I'm going to do this very quickly, and your answer, of course, is 3 tens and 4 ones, 34. But the whole idea is that we're not going to remove 12 is 10, and then 11 and 12. Okay. So all I did is the kids act this out with base 10 blocks first, and I'm just going to skip this and go to the next slide. Here we go. And you want kids then to transfer to the 100 chart. So you have worked with the 100 chart with the counting, skip counting and that kind of thing, so they're really familiar with it. But can they show me 3 tens and 2 ones and just mark where it is on the board? Well, one district we were working with, the kids couldn't find 32 unless we went through this. So you might want to do some background work. So the thing is you have 32 showing on the screen, and I can show 10, I can show 20, I can show 30, and I can show 31, and then 32, and that's how I find 32. To make an analogy, you can put the base 10, even though it's not as big, each 10 rod equals one of those rows. So you can make a great connection there for them, and then of course the 2 units would go on the 2. So that's one way to get them to find 32 if they're having a little trouble with that. So now we have 32. Now what we want to do is add 1 10 to 32, and we want to circle the answer. So we go down 10 and get to 42. Okay, and you can point that out by counting up to 10, and that's how we get to 42. Every time, of course, we know we move down a row, we have made 10. So we're going to add 2 10s and 3 1s and then circle your answer. So the problem is place an X on top of 5 10s and 3 1s, which we have on our screen. And now we want to add 2 10s and 3 1s. So there's 1 10, 2 10s, and then 3 1s. 1, 2, 3. The answer is 76. So I'm going to get out of this PowerPoint, and we're going to give you guys a chance to do it yourself. So in a minute, you're going to see a different application come on the board. So I want to stop sharing, and we're going to give you a new application with a smart file. I'm going to bring up a new, you should see a black screen, that's okay. I'm going to bring up a new smart file for you guys to look at. And there we go. Okay. And now you see a new one. You see our communicator there with the 100 square on it. And what you want to be able to do now is actually act them out on the board. So I'm going to act out one of them. You want to model 23. You want to have them model it with the base 10 blocks first. So that is 20 and then 3. So you have 1, 2, 3. And then what you want to do is have the kids use a few base 10 blocks to add 4 10s. So the kid would add 1, 2, 3, 4 10s. So the answer is going to be 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 3. So you want them to act it out with the base 10 block first, and then make the transfer to the 100 chart. So place a yellow square on 32. Now if the kids are using a communicator, they can't put a yellow square on it. They can put an X on it instead, whichever one. So let me just leave that, put the yellow square on it, makes it more vivid. Add 4 10s by placing a red square on top of the 23, and then moving it so it shows the correct sum. 10, 20, 30, 40, and of course it's, because I didn't do it on 23, I'll be alright. 32, I'll be alright, I reversed it. Man, guys better be paying attention. 23 is 10, 20, 30, 10, 20, 30, 40, and the answer is 63. So since I'm doing such a bad job of adding, we're going to let you guys take over. So, we're going to ask, well, I don't know, let's say we ask Karen 2, alright? We're going to ask you to make the model of 42 with the base 10 blocks. So I'm going to give you permission to move stuff around. Go ahead. There's 10, 20. Now the kids are acting this out. I sound like a broken record with this. 30, 40, and then you, whoops, nope, you need to grab it. It's a little small. There you go. 41. Excellent job. 42. Okay, we're going to now give Gina permission to add 5 units to that. So let me give you permission, and we're going to go to 5 units. Go ahead. There you go, that's 1, 2, oh. There you go. Look, you're going to need to go back to it and just go ahead. There you go. So now we have 3, and you need 2 more. 4, and then 1 more. There you go. Whoop. And just drag that over. There you go. 5. Put the other one, I'm going to take it over for you, from you, and you just move this one over, and now you have added your 5. Alright, give her a hand, everybody. It's not as easy as it looks. There we go. Okay. So now we can act it out. I'm going to take the permission away from Gina, and now we're going to go to our next page. Now we're going to do the same thing. Okay. So this time I think we'll go with Teresa. Alright. Teresa, we're going to ask you, we're going to give you permission, and we are going to ask you to put a yellow square on top of 42. Alright, and now put a red square on top of 42. Go back and try it again. And try to catch that. There you go. 42. And now you're going to show us how to add 5. Move that red square over 5. Whoop. Go back. Press it. There you go. Go to red again. There you go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Give her a round of applause, everybody. This is great. Come on, you guys. There we go. Okay, excellent job. But you get the idea of what we're trying to do. I won't do too many more with you, but you get into different models that you want to be able to do. I will do a problem 5 with you, I think. We'll do problem 5. Okay. All right, we're going to ask Rayanne to make the model for 27. All right, 10, 20, and then we need 7. A little hard to grab because it's so small. There you go. All right, I think we have 7. That's an excellent job. Give her a round of applause. There we go. So you guys are into it. This is great. Okay, so we'll just try it out here. Oh, we're going to add 9. Okay, so how are we going to add 9 in the most efficient manner? Do we have a volunteer to show us how to add 9 real fast? And regroup? All right, Jackie. Want Jackie with the first, hold their hand up. Why don't you show us how to do that? I'm going to give you control. Go ahead, Jackie. She takes 1 away. Excellent. And puts 1 in. Excellent. And of course our answer is 36. All right. Let's try it out on the board now. You guys can put your hands down, Jackie and Karen. Okay, now let's try it on the board. So let's see. Do we have a volunteer, somebody different who would like to try it on the board? All right, Maureen, we are going to give you permission, and you can show us how to do it on the board. There we go. Go ahead. Put a yellow square on 27. There we go. Put a red square on top of 27, it should be, not 56. Add 9, it should be 27, not 56. Okay, and now you're going to add 9. Show us how you would do that. Notice as you go down 10 and back 1, just like we removed it before with the base 10 block. What a connection for kids to make. It's fantastic. Give Maureen a round of applause. All right. Great job, you guys. Okay, so where we're going with this is eventually you want kids not to use the base 10 blocks. You got to think of manipulatives. Maureen, do you have a question? Okay, no, you don't have a question. Bring it in. Okay, so now, eventually you want kids to do this without base 10 blocks or the 100 chart. So the best way to do it is take away the base 10 blocks and just have them act this out. So here I say use the 100 chart to determine the answer to the problem below, 36 and 21. So hopefully, I'm not going to use the colors this time. I would go to 36 with my X. The kids would mark that on their communicator. And then what they would do is they would count down. So they're going to count down 2 10s and 1 1. And of course our answer is 57. But that's what you want the kids to do. You actually want them obviously to use the communicator as well. All right, any questions on using adding double-digit numbers together? Raise your hand and I can answer any questions or concerns you have. My other question, and it's 2 questions at the same time. Do you guys have a question on how I made these up and how we got the infinite cloner to work? Want me to go over that, or are we okay with that? You guys are smartboard experts. This is great. Every group should be as good with smart boards. Okay. So now we're going to go on to another topic, and basically what we're going to do now is we now are adding double-digit numbers together. But what we need to do now is we need to think about really regrouping and adding larger numbers together. So I'm going to change the file for just a second. We're going to open up another smartboard file. And these are all the files, by the way, that Steve is going to be sending you. Okay, and I'm going to choose Winiflat, because that's what we're going to go to. Now, you should be playing Winiflat as part of our program. But if you haven't had a chance to play it, I'll just go over it. You want to play this in sometimes in first grade, definitely in second grade, and third grade should need it. Fourth grade, if you've played it in second or third, shouldn't need it. But any remediation that you want, you need to play this game before you teach regrouping. Anyway, this game is on our website, www.smartmathlessons.com, which we'll talk about at the end. You can download this game for free, but I've just brought it up here so we can use it today. You also, again, will get it as part of this package. But anyway, there's teacher notes, there's objectives, there's video demonstrations, there's sample rounds. But we're going to go to back to, whoops, I just did a mistake here. I don't want to do that. All right, so now I'm going to go back for just a second to play the game. Okay, I can play the game and print out directions. I'm going to use the dice version of the game. So, you don't need to read the directions. I'm going to tell you what they are. If you haven't played the game, the whole idea is that you have to win a flat. The flat, of course, is the 100. And the way you do that is you carefully roll 2 dice, and you build a model on your workspace, which we usually use as a communicator. But the kids have got to have base 10 locks. So you decide who's going to go first and all this stuff. And kids keep building the models and regrouping as necessary until they get to 100. So let's model this, and then you guys can join us in a minute when I give you permission. So you have 5. So kid number 1, player number 1, would show a 5 on the board, because that's what they threw. So you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, we're going to go player number 2. Player number 2, I'm going to ask Fran, if you would just throw the dice for us, please, and roll the dice. Just take your cursor and press it. There you go. The green one is a 1. Press the red one. It is a 6, so you have to put 7 on there. Can you put 7 units on your board for me, please? These are a little bit bigger than the last one. 1, 2, and a kid would be building this, obviously, with the actual blocks. 3, 4. Okay, now we have 7. Excellent job. Now we are going to go to player number 1. I already have 5. I'm going to ask somebody to roll these for me. Gina, why don't you roll that for me, if you would, please? Go ahead, Gina. I get a 3 and a 4. Oh, I got 7. Now, go ahead and put 7 on there. We'll show you how to get those off of there if you want to do it that way. 1. This is one way you can do it. 1. Going to add 7 on. 2. 3. 4. Strike that over. 5. There you go. 6. 7. Okay. Now, we all know that you have to make those exchanges. So just what we did last time, I'm going to get 10 of these together. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So I have all 10 of these. Remember what we can do. We can left click and highlight all of those at once. Let me do that again. I can put my cursor down and I can left click and highlight all 10 at once. Notice how I've made them sort of grouped together. I can then access the pull-down menu and go to delete. And of course I have to replace that with a 10. And that gives me 12. Alright, let's go to player number 2. Alright, and this time we'll go to Jackie. And Jackie, if you would, please, just roll the dice. She gets a 10. Oh, Jackie, you got it easy. Put a 10 in there. Alright, and we'll go back to me. And we'll ask Karen 2 to do that. And we will give you permission. Go ahead, roll the dice for me. And we have a 2 and a 5. We have 7 again. So add 7 for me, please. Okay. Alright, I think we have 7 more now. Okay, and we only have 9 altogether. So we're going to go to the next player. I think we'll just about end with this. Alright, we're going to play the whole game. Karen. The next Karen's going to, if you would please, roll the dice for me. Eight. Alright, now this time, we're going to cheat a little. Alright? Take off 2 and put in a 10. My kids will eventually discover they can do that. Alright, great job. Okay, now, obviously we keep playing, and finally you're going to end up with, now, again you can see that I'm cloning these, so it makes it just a little faster instead of rolling them out. And I'm going to clone 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 30, 40, 50, 60, 80, 40 more. So when you finally get to all of the player that has the first one that gets a 10 or 10 tens or more than 1 or more than 10 tens wins the game. So they have to make that exchange and put the flat in. So they win the flat. Great concepts for regrouping. Okay, I'm going to change this again. And we are going to now talk a little bit about addition, and then you're going to try some problems. So, I'm going to bring up my next file. Okay, when I usually do this, we talk about making exchanges with the groups, and then we model what's going on. And I use student A and student B. And student A creates a number. Student B creates a number, they combine them together, and then they make exchanges. So let me model what I'm talking about. Right here, we have student A, and on the next one, we have student B. So I'm going to go to a split screen. So you can see student A and student B. Notice I have 2 different color base 10 blocks. So I'll make this a little faster. So I'll make 146. So I have 10, 20, 30, 40, and then I need 6. So I make a model for 146. And let me just, once I do this, I can then clone those 3. Notice I didn't group them, but I got them together and cloned it. So I have 146. So student B, on their board, they don't have to use 2 different colors. I did this just to make it dramatic for you guys so you can see it. And we could go 180. Okay. I'll make 4 of these for my 40. And then I'll highlight the 4 of those. I will clone those so it goes a little faster. That's 80 now, and I need 2. Now this is really what's cool. What you tell the kids to do is that they've made them on a communicator. You have student B carefully give all of their materials to student A. So I'm going to highlight this and drag them all over to student A's board. Now I want to combine those together. Well, you guys just played the game, so you guys know that I need 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80. I know that 2 more of these 10s will make 100. So if I bring those down, I count those up again. I have 10 10s. So what I want to do is I want to get rid of those 10 10s, and I want to bring in another 100 square. So my answer is 320, and I believe that is 328. So again, if I were to check that out, obviously we would know the answer is 328. So I had more problems made up you could try with kids. We're not going to do that because you don't need the practice. Notice eventually I get away from doing, I'll take the split screen off of there. I get away from actually going student A and student B, and these are just individual problems that they can do. I should have cloned all the internet cloned these so that they go faster. And basically, you can just make your model and add them together. But I'm going to just change gears with you guys for a minute, and we're going to try something a little bit different now, just to practice, and then we're going to go to subtraction and multiplication. So what I want to try now is I'm going to, you're going to get that black screen on your board in a minute, and I'm going to stop the sharing, okay? And you have Manipulative Mania on there, and we're going to now actually work in Illuminate. Right now, I've been giving you permission to work with smart software and giving you permission, but you really want to get everybody involved. So in order to get everybody involved, what happens is I need to create things. I can't give you permission to use smart. I can't give you all in your breakout. We're going to create what we call breakout rooms where you work individually or in pairs. I can't put smart notebook software into each breakout room. That won't allow us to do that. So I'm simulate what a smart board can do using Illuminate software. It's a little more difficult to work with. You have to copy and paste to get it to work. So I'm going to just take a little diversion for a second. We won't have to do this every time, but since this is the first one, we'll need a little bit of practice with this. So what I'm going to do first is I'm going to bring up a PowerPoint just to show you, again, some techniques that you might want to use. It's a little bit, as I said, more cumbersome than we would like it to be, but it does the job. Okay. So I am going to show you how to move an object using Illuminate. You have a cursor on your screen there, and which I have shown you here. And basically, to move an object, all you have to do is position the cursor inside or on the outline of the object. So in a minute, you're going to get to practice this. The minute you do that, it does switch to the crosshairs like smartboards do, and then you left-click the mouse, hold it down, and while you're holding it down, you can move the object around. So it's very much like Smart. Okay. The next one you might want to do is delete an object. To delete an object, what we want to be able to do is, again, you take an object, you position the cursor like you did before, change the crosshairs, and to delete an object, you right-click the mouse so the drop-down menu appears. Right-click the mouse. This drop-down menu appears. It's sort of like Smart, but not exactly the same. But you can see where it says Delete Objects. So you would assume that you might go to delete objects, you highlight it, and then you click it, and it'll delete the object. In a minute we'll practice this again. I know I'm going through this pretty fast. Copying an object, it doesn't have a clone feature, but you can copy and paste. Again, press your cursor, it'll change the crosshairs, then right-click your mouse so the drop-down menu is displayed. Since you know you want to copy, you might assume that you go to copy and click it. That will copy the object. You won't see it until you paste it. I'm going to go to another screen, and when I do that, to paste the copied object, you need to take your cursor and place it where you want it, roughly speaking. Place your cursor where you want to place the object. Then you don't need a new screen. You can do it on the same screen, but I'm doing a new screen here. And then what you're going to do is you right-click and bring up your drop-down menu, and you want to then, since you want to paste, you might assume you go down to paste and click it, and when you do that, the object will appear on the screen. So basically, you can copy and paste rather than clone, and we'll try this in a minute. The other thing you want to do is group objects to delete, copy, or paste. So I have a red, white, and blue object on there. And again, you imagine that box, just like you do with Smart. You imagine a box around the ones you want to group. And then you place your cursor. And as you move your cursor around it, a box appears. And then all these sub-boxes appear, just like they do with Smart. Once you have that, then you can move your cursor, and your the big rectangle will disappear. Each one of the objects will be highlighted as is shown, and then you take your cursor, move it in, so it's all now one object in essence. It'll change to a crosshairs, and then you can delete it. Okay, so I know I went through that quickly, but we're going to get a chance to practice that. So in a minute, you're going to again see this black screen. All right, you see the black screen, and we're going to stop sharing. Okay. So now, what I'd like to do is we're going to bring up a new file. Okay. On your screen, you see a base 10 blocks, and what I'm going to do is I am going to create a breakout room. In a minute, what's going to happen is you are all going to be put into an individual room where you can work on the computer individually. When I do that and you go into the breakout room, you cannot hear me and I cannot hear you. You will see Steve and I enter the rooms. The minute we enter a room, we can take over your board, we can talk to you, but only you and the moderator that is in your room can hear you. You are going to do the task that is there on the board, and then I'm going to collect all the work. So, just to review how to move this around, what you do is you take your cursor, and I'm moving my cursor, and I highlight my box that you can't see me moving. But basically, what's going to happen when you do that is you are going to actually do what we did before. Take your cursor, and you are going to put it on top of the object you want to move, and then you're going to left click and it will move it. You can't see me actually doing my highlighting and moving. I mean, you can't see me highlight the objects and move them, but I am moving them. That you can see. So at any rate, we're going to give it a try and see how we make out. Steve and I will be here to help you out. And again, the minute you get into a breakout room, you will not be able to hear us until we go into the room with you. So there will be a silence for a minute. You will be getting all the material at one time. So what we're going to do is I am going to create the rooms for you, okay, and distribute you and put the material into the room. So you'll be quiet for about a minute. Okay, we can go in now. Okay, everybody's back, and we were in most of your rooms, and you guys did a great job. We'll just take a look at different people's answers. So let me just do a quick thing here, and we can see how we move the thing around. So let's go to just show you some answers here. Okay, hold on a minute. All right. And we want to move, nobody will know your name. We're going to go to room 4. If you were in room 4, your answer is coming on the screen. And we have 200, and we have our number in order. Excellent job. It's cool. You can do this with kids. I've actually taught kids with this off-site to give you know, extra help after school, and I collect kids' work. We can show kids work. It's great because you get the kids actively engaged. So anyway, I wanted to have you guys engaged as well. Room 7. This is your answer, okay? And we'll show you one more. Room 11. Whoever's in room 11, there you go. Okay. So you guys are doing a great job. Okay. So what we're going to do is I just want to do this one more time. All right. And now we're going to just do one more problem. Okay. This is just copy and paste them above the line. I'm going to do the same thing I did before. I'm going to put you all in the breakout rooms, and we're going to give you a chance to maybe I'm going to move on because we're running out of time here. All right. Let's do this one. You see this on the screen. Exchange 100 square for 10 rods. So what you would do is you would highlight the square, you would delete it, and I'm deleting my objects by right-clicking. And whoops, I just deleted my object. I should be deleting it. There it goes. And now I need what? 10 rods. So down here I would highlight 10 of them and move them into my workspace. Okay? So in a minute I'm going to give you guys a different problem to try. And let me clone that. Copy and paste. Okay. So I think we'll give you the next problem. Alright? Alright, there we go. Okay. And again, we're going to put you in breakout rooms. You're going to receive the problem, and then you're going to try it out. Okay? Let me speed those up. Okay, here we go. Breakout rooms first. And you won't be able to hear me for a minute, and then Steve and I will be around to help you out. So we want to... okay, you won't be in this, and then we're going to... You slide your... Okay, it seems that everybody was having trouble. You could highlight the material, but you really couldn't then delete it by right-clicking. More than one person had trouble with that. Was anybody, raise your hand if you actually got the material to erase or delete. Did anybody actually get, when we put you in the breakout room, did you get the material to erase and delete? Nobody was able to do that, right? We don't know why. Steve and I will have to look into that for next time. Yeah, not good. Alright, we're going to go back to SMART. Alright, SMART will always work. Alright. So, anyway, all we were trying to do with that little exercise is this is what's good about technology, Killian, is all we wanted you to do at that point was just practice exchanging and stuff. But we can do the same thing on a smart board, and it'll be a little smoother. So, I'm going to now go on. I'm going to bring up another file, and I think we need to move on to just a quick one with subtraction, because I want to spend some time with multiplication with you guys. So what we're going to do is just switch gears on you. I need to switch some programs around, and I'm not getting my model. Come on, just hold on a second. Alright, and we're going to I need to just do one quick thing here that you can't see what I'm doing, but I need to do it. Alright. Okay, a little bit of a delay here, but we'll be back in a second. Okay. Alright, what we're going to do now is I am going to bring up, as I said, another smart file. Okay, that seems to be a safer one to do. And we're going to bring up some concepts on arrays and multiplication. Oh no, subtraction. I want to go through that real fast. Subtraction. On subtraction, obviously you want to take things away. So here is a smart thing. Remove, what you do is you make your model. Alright? Remove base 10 materials from the set below. They have the value of 154 and tell the value of the box that is left. So we start with 210, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We have 278. We want to subtract 154. So to do that, you just remove 150, much easier to do with smart. 110, 20, 30, 40, 50, and I need 4. And I'll bring down my 4. So I'm going to remove 154, and I just press delete. My answer must be 124. Okay, let's try another one. Remove base 10 materials from the set below. They have a value of 128. Well, we don't have enough here. We have 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, and we want to move 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We want to remove 128. We don't have enough. So we know we have to regroup. So what we do is we cut out or delete our 100 square, and we replace it by 10. We could clone that and replace it that way. We clone that and bring it up, and now we have replaced our 100 square. Now we have enough to subtract. We can get 100. Oh, we've had enough. 120. I'll be all right. Hold on, I'm getting a little wacky here. Hold on. We can subtract 128. We subtract 1 100, 2 10s, and 8 1s. I'll be okay. We need to get the 8 1s under control. So I'm going to take my 10 rod. I'm going to take my 8 from down here. Notice how I highlight 8 of them. I can clone that. And I need 8 and I need 10 altogether. Boy, I'm falling apart here. Alright, I need 10 altogether. And now I'm going to clone those. And I'm going to bring them up. So now I get rid of my 10 that I just exchanged. Now, of course, I have enough to remove the 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I can delete those. And thank you for the smile there. And I can delete, I deleted those. What am I doing here? I gotta delete the 8. 1, 2, 3, 4. And I want to delete those. And I want to delete 2 10s. And I want to delete 1 100. So my answer becomes, whoops, I hit the paste again. And I want to have my answer being 130, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, that was a little clumsy on my part, but you get the idea of exchange and so forth. So, the reason I'm a little harried here is that I want to make sure I get the multiplication. So I rushed to that last one. So let's go to multiplication. I'm going to change the application. You see a black screen come on your board, and I am going to move us into a PowerPoint application. Okay, so PowerPoint comes on your screen. You have that black box, but that'll be gone in a second. And we are going to go to multiplication. Okay, a little bit of background. When we do multiplication, you want to talk about arrays. And one of the stories that we have in Communicator Math is 100 Hungry Ants. And if you read 100 Hungry Ants, the idea is that there's 100 ants that go to a picnic. And the 100 ants are all in a long line. And those 100 ants, the 100th ant says, by the time I get there, there won't be any food. So what we need to do is rearrange ourselves so we have 2 columns of 50. And then the 2 ants that are 50s say that's not going to work either. We won't have any food. So then they regroup and they have 4 lines of 25. And then finally they get down to 10 lines of 10. So what we do is we have kids act this out with base 10 blocks. I have these little ants on here. This, we give them 12 base 10 blocks, but this is 12 by 1. So you have, this is 12 rows by 1 column. 1 row, 2 rows, 3 rows, 4 rows, 5 rows, and so forth. What happens is the ant says, you know, by the time we get there, we won't have enough. So we make a 6 by 2. We have 1 row of 6, 1 row of 2, 2 rows of 2, 3 rows of 2, 4 rows of 2, 5 rows of 2, 6 rows of 2. So that gives us 12 altogether. Then we have the ants rearrange themselves 4 by 3. We know that each time we do this, we have an array. So arrays are absolutely essential. So once you explain that with the 100 hungry ants, you actually give kids base 10 blocks and have them make 12 rows of 1. Then you have, and you can count them up 1 row at a time. Then you want 6 rows of 2. So the kids create 6 rows of 2, and you can count 1 row at a time just like I did with the ants. Then you can go 4 rows of 3, count each row 1 at a time, 4 rows of 3. And then you can count 3 rows of 4, and then you can count 2 rows of 6, and then you can count 1 row of 12. Okay, so what happens when you want to go with single digits and double digit numbers? Well, now suppose I want 3 rows of 14. So I make a 10 rod and 4 ones, and I make 3 of those, so I have 3 rows of 14. How you can work that out is separate the 2 arrays. You have a 3 by 10 array, and you have a 3 by 4 array, which together is going to give you 30 plus 12, which is 42. When you go to 23, you need 2 10s and 3 1s done as an array. Since I'm on 4 rows of them, I have to make 4 rows. I now can say I have 4 times 20. I have 4 times 3. That will give me an 80 and a 12, which is a 92, of course. Now, when you do double digit times double digit, you make a frame. And when you do that, you can make the 12. On the outside of the frame is the problem. On the inside is the answer. So there's my 12. I make a 10 and a 3 at the top on the outside to show my problem, which is 13. I make an array. I make a rectangle. It will make an array, so I know how my object will look. I multiply 10 times 10, and that is a 100 flat, or 100. Now I'm going to multiply 10 by 3. I'm going to make an array of 10 by 3, which is going to give me 30. Then I'm going to multiply 2 times 10 and make an array that's 2 by 10 around there, which is 20. And then I'm going to make an array that's 2 by 3, which is 6, which then is going to give me 156. 11 times 14 would be 10 and 1, 10 and 4. And then we're going to go 10 times 10 is 100. Here 10 times 4 is 40. I'm going to make an array for the next one. 1 by 10 is 10. An array for the next one, which is 1 by 4, which is 4. Answer is, added up, 154. When you make a transformation to partial products when you do this, notice there's your numbers. Think of it as 20 plus 3 and 10 plus 8. The 20 plus 3 can be thought of as that those 2 rods of 10 times 20 is 200. Then you're going to go 10 by 3 when we did that other part of our array, and it was 30. Then you go to 8 by 20, and then you go to 8 by 3. I know I went through that rather fast, but you're going to get a lot of practice with the smart board. So I'm going to take this away, and we're going to go back to our smart board. So I'm going to stop sharing for a second. And you are going to get a smart application come on. I'm going to bring up a new file. And we want to do just some basic arrays first. Okay, we're going to ask participation here. what I'd like you to do is, I'm going to get that black screen over there. Alright, so now, I don't know, let's start. I think we left over Karen before. Kathleen, we're going to ask you to show us a 3x5 array, if you would please. A 3x5 array. There we go. I think you just click on that. I think I made that whole thing just click on it. I made it a infinite cloner. Just click on the actual array. There you go. And just drag it over. There you go. I try to be real fancy. It's 5. It's one row of 5. You had the right idea, but I was being much too fancy before. There we go. Okay. Whoop. There you go. The reason you have a little trouble moving around is the delay between your computer and my computer here, because you're really working with my computer. There's a little bit of a delay, so it's a little more cumbersome. Just want to click on that. There you go, and just drag it over. Whoop. There you go. Good. Excellent. Excellent. Okay, good way to get around that. So now, can you straighten those out so we see an array there? You did it right, but this is straighten them out so we can see a real array. That's close enough. That's good. It's hard to do. It's easy to do on a smart board. It's very difficult to do from here. So I'm just going to cut you off and move around. It's faster for me because obviously it's my computer. The reason you're having trouble moving around is not you; it's the delay in the internet. But anyway, it's a 3x5. So you can have the kids practice these, make them up. I'm going to have you do these, any more of these. We just have them do different arrays. Here they can actually write down the number. In fact, for fun of it, we haven't done a chat one yet. Go to the chat box, and all of you enter in what that array shows. So if you think it shows 4x5, you write 4 times 5. If you think it shows 5 times 4, you write 5 times 4. You type that in and send it. There we go. And I am having you send it to everybody, so everybody sees your answer. Okay, but you're all experts, so we don't have a problem. With kids, I have them send it to the moderator, so they can't see each other's answers. You know, so that keeps it pretty private. Okay, I think most of you have responded. Again, it gets another indicator for me on how well the lesson's going over, and they've tried it out. So, I'm going to bring up a new PowerPoint, a new smart lesson, and this time we are going to go with 1- and 2-digit numbers, multiplication. Okay, this is the file that you will be getting. I'm going to go to Student Activities, and again, with as few base 10 materials as possible, show 4 times 17 and then determine the product. So again, I give kids a chance to practice how to make the 10 rods if they can't, but in a minute we'll click and show the answer. So I'm going to give Kristen permission to make a 17, if you would please. Just drag down the infinite cloning to do a 17. So I'm going to go to shared applications. Okay, Kristen, go show 17, if you would please. There we go. Just drag that down. And again, it's clumsy because of the delay. Keep dragging down if you can. drag that one down, see how you do with that. Oh, I see. Okay. Okay, we get the idea. What I'm going to do is just because we're running out of time, I'm going to cut you off. And it's, again, I know you can do it. It's just that delay that we're going through here. So I'm going to put down my 7. So the kid would create 7 and 10 for 17. I have 4, and then I have 5, and I need 6 and 7. All right, so now, I think I have it right. 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. So now what I'm going to do is I am going to clone those. And now I have 2 rows of 17. I need 4 because I want to show 4. Now this is a good one. If you wanted to copy this, we were talking about the difference between copy and clone. I'm going to copy, and now I'm going to paste it. So that appears, and then I don't have to clone it again. I can paste it. So every time I paste it, I have a new 17. So obviously I have 4 times 17. It's good to separate those. It's good for the kids to write down 4 rows by 10, which is 40, and then 4 rows by 7, which is 28. And of course 40 plus 28 is equal to 68. Okay, I have some other problems here that we want to try. This is the answer. I could just go through the answer. You can try these in your class. 6 by 13, you get the idea. We've done that already. The answer would appear like this: 6 rows of 10 and 6 rows of 3. So that's single times double. Now let's try double times double. Using the frame. The outside of the frame is used to model the numbers being multiplied. The inside is used to model their products. So I do want to try this. Whoops, I screwed that one up too. And I want to try this out with you guys. See how well we do this time. Maureen, we're going to ask you to make a 13 on the left-hand side here, where my little cursor is. Make a 13, if you would, please. So I'm going to give you permission to make a 13. Go ahead. There we go. 10, 11, 12, and 13. Alright, now I'm going to take that away. And again, I know about the delay. I know how hard it is to get these positioned when you're on the other end of this stuff. Okay, so now we have 13. I'm separating them just so you can see them. You know, really, in a true array, you wouldn't have these separated. But anyway. Alright, now, whoops, we want now, I'm having trouble when it's right on my computer. Alright, now, what we want to do now is we want Ryan to show us 14 across the top. So I'm going to give you permission to do 14 across the top. Good. 10, and of course we need 4 more. Okay, excellent job. And again, I will just move them around because again, it's a little easier for me to place them. Okay, we then discussed the fact that you now have your model made up. This is the actual problem that you want to model. It's on the outside of the frame. I'm going to add in a line, a segment, down the side here so I can finish my array. Roughly speaking, that's my little array. Alright, so now we need to multiply. I'm going to write those numbers in there. And we want to write those in as 10 plus 3 and 10 plus 4. Alright, we need somebody to show us what 10 times 10 is, so I'm going to go to Teresa. And you show us and bring in what 10 times 10 is and place it in the right place. Excellent job. And again, I know it's hard to position it. Good job. Okay. Now we're going to ask somebody to show us 10 by 4, or 10 times 4 now. And let's go to Fran. Okay? Fran, I'm going to give you permission to show us 40. Whoop. There we go. Good job. Alright. We have 40. Alright. So now we're going to give somebody S. And we're going to applaud and everything. This is great. Okay. Gina, we're going to ask you to make 30 down here at the bottom. 3 times 10. You're ready for 3 times 10. So we're going to give you control. Alright, there you go. As it's all worked out on Illuminate, but we're not trying it because it isn't going to work. Alright, excellent job. And now we need to show, what, 12? Well, we need 3 rows of 4. I'll do that one. So I'm going to make, go down here by 4. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4. Alright, so they need 3 rows of 4. So I'm going to clone that. Okay, now, we know that each section will give us an answer, so I'm just going to put some lines in here. Whenever you multiply 2 two-digit numbers together, you will always get 4 different arrays. So we can write right on it like we did before. The kids can use a communicator or whatever to do this. 10 times 10 is 100, 10 times 4 is 40, 3 times 10 is 30, and 3 times 4 is 12. 100, 40, 70, 82 is my product. I can't stress enough how important it is, how important this is to do as a model. Because as I said before, when you actually work this problem out and show them the algorithm of 13 times 14, the power that you have is unreal. Because what you want to think about is you rewrite this as 10 plus 4 and 10 plus 3. Remember when we did 10 by 10 up here and it was 100? 10 times 10 is 100. Then we did 10 by 4 and we got 40. Well, there's my 10 and my 4 there, which gives me 40. This is partial products. Then we did 3 by 10, which gave me 30. There's my 3, there's my 10, that's my array, which will give me 30. I'm going to run out of room here, I think. And then my last one was a 3 by 4. There's 3 by 4, which will give me 12. And I can add all of those up. I move all this stuff up. I can add those up, and I will get 182 for my answer. So the analogy is absolutely essential. Okay, unfortunately I didn't get the division. Maybe I'll do a little bit of that next time we meet. But we're almost at 3 o'clock. So I just want to close all this out. Again, I thank you for taking time out of your summer to take these webinars. And again, all of this is recorded, and you can replay these for your summertime pleasure. If you see something on your cable you don't want to watch, another on the cable, you can download these and watch this again. Basically, as you know, we do the live webinars. If you go on our website, www.smartmathbuzzes.com, one right up there, you can get taped webinars that we just did. You can get Smart Ready Communicator templates that you can drop down for free. You can get, we do certification training, and we do level 1 and level 2 notebook events. This stuff is just really using a smart board. It's not really showing you how to do it. But I have a feeling from you guys that you already know how to do it. If you wanted to become a certified trainer, we are a certified training center here at LL Teach. We are doing a certification training for level 1 and level 2, and you'll be a smart certified trainer when you get done. It's right here in our Bridgewater office, July 25th to July 28th. In Bridgewater office on August 29th to the 31st, we're doing our math activities and level 1 training. Obviously, you guys are already taking part in Manipulative Mania. And again, watch for free webinars throughout the year. Okay, just a little more advertisement for these. Only a few questions that you might have. You know, if you can answer these questions, you don't need to come to the training. How do I use the page recorder? How do I customize the color, font, and font size of the text menu? How do I customize the pen color and line thicknesses? How do I customize the outline or shape colors? How can I make a magic tunnel? How do I group pages in the page sorter? If you know the answers to all those questions, you're in great shape. How does a magic pen, what does a magic pen do? How can I insert a PDF in a Smart Notebook file and make it interactive? How can I use the shape recognition tool? You get the idea. So anyway, you can go to our website, our other website, which is www.llteach.com. And again, the Good Gymnastics book is there, but you already have that book. So what I need to find out from you guys is any questions or comments about how we can improve it for next week. Next week we're doing pattern blocks. With pattern blocks we do some symmetry, we do some tessellations, we do some algebra work, we do some fractions. So I need to know if we can improve this. You should send me an email or make a comment at the bottom. My feelings don't get hurt. I want to make this as interactive as possible. It sort of fell apart there when we went to the Illuminate thing, but I got to work on why the problem we're having. All right, and basically we are going to sign off in a second. But all of you on your chat box, send to the moderator. When you see send, in the drop-down menu next to it says moderator. You just change it to moderator, and when you send your comment, it'll come right to me. So we need a rating from 1 to 10, 1 being the worst, 10 being the best. So overall, you just evaluate what we did here, and we'll try to improve on what we did. We try to get you actively engaged. We try to give you materials that you can use with kids to keep them actively engaged. And of course, we try to get the concept across. So if you would, just give us a rating, and you have a pleasant rest of the day, and we'll see you next Thursday.
Did you see those people talking to each other? Which one was her mic?